Hi everyone. Um, Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining into today's session. My name is Pascal Opara, and I'm the Cloud Infrastructure Engineer at Signal Alliance. Signal Alliance is a diversified technology company which prefers end-to-end system integrator with over 23 years experience in Nigeria's technology and business landscape. Our partners include Microsoft, Cisco, Checkpoint, Computer Associates, Trade Micro,
Thank
Good.
you.
sorry about that, Trade Micro, UiPath, and many more. Today, our discussion will focus on Azure Budget Alert. While the presentation is on, questions can be typed into the chat box. We will take time at the end of the session so that we can answer these questions. So let's get started. Azure Budget. Budget alerts notify you when spending based on usage costs reaches or exceeds the amount defined. And these budgets are generated automatically whenever the budget alert items are met. Okay, so to monitor cloud spending, to drive operation accountability, and to optimize cloud efficiency, that is why we are providing this update of Azure Budget. Now, the budget is designed to help everyone who is on Azure, on the cloud, to be able to follow up on what they have in regards to the spending that's occurring. And why should you have these things set? A few benefits. Number one, for real-time monitoring. Two, for usage cost utilization. Three, for accurate forecasts and accountable grouping. Real-time monitoring. We can see on the chart here that we're able to see what is being spent on a daily basis, and it can give um, an admin an idea towards what to be spent for the whole billing month. Cost visualization. On the chart there, you can also see that it's specifying each of the resources and its costs, also giving you a spending and forecast. Having to see this, it helps everyone to be able to pinpoint what area is actually incurring the most cost, and giving the admin an idea towards where they need to look towards if they are looking to optimize the or anything
Hello?
else. Yes,
Oh,
hear you. Next, accurate forecasts. As you can see, where we have the light green indicator there is showing what would be spent, because based on what I have on my subscription here, I have two virtual machines and some applications running, but they are not always on. So following what Azure, what it does for us is to take what has the nature, let's say how I've been running my resources, and it is able to um, give an estimate towards what I'll be spending based on what I've used already. Lastly, accountable grouping. This accountable grouping is basically whenever in the scenario of, let's use a bank for instance, you have different teams, and you can assign maybe different teams different subscriptions, or within one subscription you can give them resource groups, and these resource groups, with that we can be able to know, okay, who or which resource group is making or taking the most amount. So with that, we're able to know, okay, this group has spent this amount, this group has spent this amount. So right now, I'll just give a short demo about all these on how to create the budget alert itself. So this is my subscription. The first thing we need to do is we need to create an action group. So to create an action group, we go onto the Azure monitor and we click on alerts. After that, we go to manage actions, and there we have where we can create add an action group. Now I'll just call this demo test. Let's give a short name. Let's call it DPT. It already has a default action group, a default resource group. If you want to specify a different one, you can create it before coming on here. And our action type today, I'll be going to the email, SMS, push, and voice. So in this case, I can specify what exactly I would like. If it's for me to have an email being sent to me, I'll put my email address here. One of the things about this is that we majorly would advise people to use maybe SMS or the Azure app push if you have the Azure app on your phone. Why? Because we can understand that on a daily basis you might be receiving a lot of emails. So before you begin to go through all these emails and for you to if you are trying to prioritize whatever is being received, then we will advise that basically you add an SMS charge to this, or you put an Azure app charge, and it can still specify your own email as well, because you are signing into the application on your phone with this app. So this is still seen as a notification. For the SMS, is based on the location you are. So if I want to put my own number, I can do that. Let's say +234. So our problem here is our country code isn't recognized at this time, but I believe we can speak to them to make that change for us. So clicking specifying and now saying okay for these two halves. Okay, no, I'll just select this. So I can give this a name. Okay. Now as it creates, another thing that can be done is certain times you might want to create different action groups. Maybe the action group that you're creating will have more options, and you can first start with an email on. That's for this BG alert I have here, and the second one can come with the email and an Azure app. Now despite the fact I've created this, I can still add more. Sorry, I can still add more users onto here and maybe put another email. I'll call this T2 and find this. So with this now we have been able to create an action group. So now we'll go back to the home page and we'll be going to the cost management page. So on the cost management page, we'll specify cost management, and okay, I'll need to specify my own scope. Now we go on to the budgets area. These are some of the ones I've created in the past, but I'll just go over it again. So I click on add. Now it's very important that we specify the subscription that we want to attach this alert to, this budget alert to, so that we ensure that we are following the right subscription. If you have more subscriptions, I advise that based on the amount that you are expecting this subscription to use after each billing month, you can create the alerts for each of them so that you know how it's progressing. So I'll call this the demo. And the reset period. So based on how your billing is actually set, you might have started your subscription at, let's say, on the 14th of May, and it's each month that everything gets reset. So you will be, if you know that it's not well aligned, in the sense that you started from the first of the month, it's advised that you make your resetting period at each billing month, so that you can be able to have accurate readings towards what you have accumulated for each of your billing cycles. Now you can also do that, you can have for a billing month and also for the billing quarter. Why? Because it also helps you to just have at the back of your mind that, okay, for each of the months you have set your alerts, and it will be resetting each month and be sending you the alerts based on how you're utilizing your resources on Azure. And having to set that billing quota is because, let's say, after the quarter, you can have an understanding towards, okay, if let's for the 4 months that has passed you by, how were resources managed? Were you seeing progress in regards to optimization, or were things rising? So having that quarter report will help you understand how you can then move forward in the next quarter, how you can drop some little resources that you may have. So we have to set an amount threshold here. I'll just put 100. And in my own subscription here, I have a monthly injection of $150 every $150. And if I'm putting 100, I'm putting that because I'm trying to I'm trying to make my budget a little bit more strict. And it's not that when the budget surpasses that is going to be there's going to be an overhaul on your subscription. No, but what's going to happen is, when the date you receive that alert is of importance. Why? Because if you are going to get 50% budget alert usage by the 19th of a month, then you know that, okay, between that 19th and the end of the month, you know that you won't be able to incur more than, let's say, times you will not be able to incur times 2 of what you have already incurred. So therefore you are kind of in progress, seeing that at 50% you have already passed the half of the month. So it's for you to then look at the timing when you receive these alerts, because that's of importance. So here I will specify 50%, and as you can see where the line is and see where my current forecast is. So I'm far from it. So having to look at the forecast should also help you to understand the ways to set up these alerts. So I can just maybe put 10%. Just put 10%, and you can see where the line is. At least if I should surpass that line, I should be getting an alert, and at least I will know that, okay, I'm in progress with what I've already set. And we can go ahead to set 50 and 75, 10. Now, the reason why I said you can create multiple action groups is because for this first one that I have here, okay, this BG alert, I just have an email. Now, for the fifth, when I reach 50%, you might want to get this on maybe a lot more platforms, so that in case the email passed you by, if you're sending the 50% alert, it reaches more users. So, okay, I'll put the overage alert is 1, then 75. That's demo test. I'll put this too, so that more people are receiving it if we are able to reach that 100. So despite all this, if you have other recipients, probably colleagues or those who are managing the resource groups within there, you can place that there. I'll just put one of my colleagues' email here. and then we can go ahead and create this. So with this, we're able to see these lines, and they are giving us an idea. In March, I was utilizing more resources, and we can see there that I have, let's say, more. So if I say, let me edit now, just to get the view. Yeah, okay, so as I was saying, in March, I utilized more because my resources were running, and you can see that 50% is here, 7% is here. So at a point in time, because is when you have the forecast is based on what you have. And so let's say that at the 12th of the month, I spun up 2 virtual machines that have memory optimization utilizing up to $200 a month. That's if it's running for the full month, or using like 50 cents per hour for something like that. So that can increase the forecast, and then having to set the 70% and the 100% to come in play when you tend to spin up more resources in at the later point of the month. So in setting all these, you're able to follow through to ensure that, okay, at this point in time, where am I and what am I doing correctly? Okay, so with this is just how we're able to set these alerts. As I said, you can also set up quarterly alerts. And why I say this is because if you have given a commit for your Azure subscription for, let's say, 200 or let's say 300,000, and you want to ensure that that everything is actually is followed in progress. And one thing that I understand is we would always like it that, despite the fact that we're using Azure more, we would not want to overspend. So we would like to streamline our budgets. So if you're having to review the quarterly report, despite the fact you have set a monthly one, you can be able to still look towards the accumulation of each of them for the full quarters, that the quarter that they have been running, and then you can check your advisor to also help you to get some advices towards making things more efficient for yourself on your Azure subscription. Okay, so I would go back now to the presentation. Just a moment. And continue. So as I said, the cost management is to help you with all these, to monitor your cloud spending, to drive organizational accountability, and to optimize cloud efficiency. And this is because when you're able to see what you're actually incurring, you can then streamline some of these things to ensure that, okay, you're not spending where you don't need to spend. And this also comes in play. Another thing that comes in play here is to justify all the applications that are running or resources. The managers that have been assigned to these resources will need to also get in touch with those that are running these applications to ensure that, okay, because at a point in time, it might be that these resources were spun up because of something at that time. So there's always need for, let's say, on a monthly basis, those that are in charge, you can reach back to them to ask them, okay, you check the CPU utilization, the memory utilization, and then from your own point of view, you can then say, okay, do we really need to be leaving this on, since at this point in time, there's no frequency, there's no readings coming through. So therefore, you can then look towards making things more efficient for yourself at that time. So 2 things now, as I said before, I set on the cost analysis. When you have set it, you have a budget alert, you have a forecast. Now, despite the fact that the forecast is at 50, is because of how I've been spending or what I've been using on my resources. So it's of importance that you check if, let's say, on a regular basis, despite the fact that the alert has been sent, you can come here to check, because if you spin up more virtual machines, the forecast will be giving you more an increased figure, because since you have more resources added, something can be changing. Okay, and the amount set, as I said before, if your budget for the month is 10,000, I would advise that you put your budget alert for, let's say, 7 or even 8,000, so that are, if you are getting those alerts, you know that okay, you still have something in the bank to help, as a let's safety net, I'll put it like that. So if you put that 8,000, it just helps you to be more cost efficient. So at the end of, let's say if you do this for like 4 months, at the 4th month you might at the end of the month utilize less than the 8,000. And that's why it helps, because with that alert being set in your own mind and self, you have it to try to reduce the cost for your own company. So the alert conditions are of importance. There's a way that if you are concerned about the alerts pricing, the pricing isn't much. It's just $2 for up to 10,000 emails for the month, and you might not even receive up to 1,000 emails from these alerts, just a few. So it's important that you have to set those action groups so that you are able to give this percentage budget alerts at each time. And also it's recommended that you add this Azure-no reply at Microsoft.com, because certain times, due to conditions set on your email or Exchange server, this can be seen as a spam. So it's good that you set it up so that whenever I receive the email, it comes to your main inbox. So just a view of the pricing, as I said, for what we said today, which is the set push notifications. That's this $2 for 1,000 per month. So, and noting this down, that you will not be able to utilize this amount. You will not receive up to 1,000 mails from these alerts that we have set. So you will know that you're not going to also be charged more than $2, to be less than that. So things to remember to ensure that all subscriptions have this alert set. And this is because it might be a scenario where you just set this alert for the major subscription that utilizes a lot for you, but the others are also of importance, so that at the end of the day you don't lose sight of the ones that might be incurring some little charges that will then accumulate to disrupt what you have already budgeted. The date the alert is received, that is of importance, because you're able to know, okay, are you in line to what you are expecting? If you receive it on the first week of the month, then there's something you need to look into. That's if you have set a 50% budget alert that you received at the first week of the month, then you need to look into things so that you can then streamline and optimize what you have. Add all parties consent to the action group or as email recipients, so that these people can get the alerts on time. And accountable grouping, by placing managers on these resources, so that you know who is maybe using this, so that you can ask questions and be able to justify why these applications are running, and the charges that they're accumulating. All right, so at this point now, I can take questions. Please, if you have any questions, now's the time that you can let me know so that I can answer them briefly for you. So as promised, the webinar will be 30 minutes, and we have come to an end of the session today, and we'll continue this probably by next week if you have any follow-up questions. But for the next few minutes, we'll take questions. If anyone has them, please feel free to speak at this time, or you can just put them on the chat box so that I could help answer them.
Okay, a quick question, Pascal, just for the benefit of those on the call. Is it possible to set alerts for people that are outside of the organization, or is it just limited to people within the organization or within who have access to the subscription?
Okay, so based on what I've done, for the action group, the security policies that have been set on the Azure Active Directory are something to be concerned for if you are trying to send the emails to other people. But on the email recipients, that's where you can add such users. If there's any security protocol that has been set, that's a policy that has been set on the Azure AD, probably those outside the organization would not receive it. But if you have those people that you want to send them and also to follow best possible practices, you can put those emails on the email recipients. That is, I will just show them again. That's what we have here. Like I place myself here. Even though I'm the one that's going to receive, I just kept my email there just for an example. So you can put those email addresses here and they will have no problem. I could just do that right now so that you can see. Okay, so it has been successfully added, and that's it. You can add those that are not within the company on the email recipients. That way, you are following best practices and also ensuring that they are just receiving the emails and not getting other um, notifications for this issue. Does that answer the question, sir?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So this is all we're able to take today, and thank you all for your time. We hope that this session was enlightening, even though there are no questions. But if you have any questions and you want to maybe set up something else to discuss further on this, please email us on workplacesupport@signalalliance.com and we'll reach out to you within 24 hours. And I hope that this has been informative, and I'll say a big thank you to everyone that came on board, and we hope that we'll see you tomorrow um, in the next webinar that we have set. So thank you very much for your time, and do have a lovely day. I'll place the email address on the chat box so that you can have it for yourself in case you want to reach out to us so that we can assist you as best as possible. So thank you for your time again.